Hello, everybody. I did remember to record today. Woohoo! It's time for our favorite Genos 2 class. I'm already getting questions. I'm already getting questions that I'm not sure about. So when I don't know something, I will ask everybody I know and research it myself, and I will find out the answer. Okay, I'll do my best anyway. So that's what I'm here. Today we're doing a long song. We're doing Kokomo by the Beach Boys. And this one took me some time. And 2 weeks from today, I might as well just announce it, we're going to do Fernando. And that was also a suggestion. And I'm having a couple of difficulties with that one as well. But you know what's good about that? We learn stuff. If you just sit down and push a button and play, that's okay. You can do that too. But to learn the instrument, you really have to go through the process and every preset separately. So that's what we're going to do today is Kokomo. And what do we actually know about this? It's a fictional place, by the way. There are some cities named Kokomo. So I know there's a Kokomo, Indiana. So there are some cities named Kokomo. But this is really a fictional place by the Beach Boys from 1988. And it's actually in the film and from the film Cocktail. Okay, do you remember Tom Cruise in that? Yeah, and he was a bartender. What's so funny is that the first time I watched that, I went, "They're in Cancun doing this," because that's exactly what the bars look like in Cancun when I lived there for 11 years. So this became a #1 hit in the United States and in Australia, by the way. It was the band's first original top 20 single in 20 years. Wow. Wow. And it was their first #1 hit in 22 years. Interesting. Despite Kokomo's success, critics have called it one of the worst songs ever written. Who are these critics anyway? That's what I always wanted to know. One critic even calling it's smarmy 80s yuppie pablum. Okay, but it's a hit. The critic didn't write it. And they also call it the worst summer song ever. Well, guess what? I think it's one of the best summer songs ever. Now, in the video, John Stamos, you remember him? Okay, he was in what was he in? Full House? He was in a TV show. He actually appeared in the video on the steel drums. So watch the video on YouTube and look for John Stamos playing steel drums. All right. I also do a sheet like this. Do I make mistakes? Tons of them. So if you catch me with any mistakes, please feel free to call me out on them because I learn when you guys learn. The first question I think that we need to answer is I'm gonna go back and get this question right now so I don't forget. Last week, Al needed to know about changing the splits so that the third sound didn't stay up here. It went all the way down. How do you change that? Well, you have in your window something called split and fingering. And if you touch that, I think I told you, oh, here comes somebody else. I think I told you to go to where it says sound 3 and then just move the arrow up or down until it got to the right key. All right. Now, there's a shortcut way. There's a picture of the keyboard and the splits. And if you touch, tell me if I'm saying this wrong, Warren, touch right 3 and then take your finger on that keyboard and touch where you want the split to be. It should automatically split it all the way down. Am I right on that? Did I say it right, Warren?
Yeah, just touch the keyboard, the actual key.
Oh, touch
Yeah.
the keyboard here.
Yes, yes. The act-
Oh, I thought you touched the keyboard in the screen.
no, the actual key you want.
Oh, okay.
So it's
That
even
makes it
easier.
even easier. Okay, thank you. You touch the right 3 here, and you touch the key that you want to split it to here. I like it. Excellent.
And then once
Yeah.
you let off your other finger, it's locked. You don't have to worry about it moving every time.
Okay, I like it. Thank you. That is awesome. Oh, here comes Trudy. Let's let her in. Okay. I think I am just going to play the song and let you guys listen. And then I'm going to tell you where did I put things, How did I do things? What kind of chord changes did I make? What kind of octave changes did I make? Because I did get kind of involved with this. Why? Because it's fun and because I can. All right, so here we go with Kokomo. There's my magic button, sync start. Okay. A lot of stuff in there? Yes, a lot of stuff. Fun song to play? Yeah, this is a fun one. So I don't care what the critics say. They didn't write it. They didn't make all the money on it. It's top 10 hit for a reason. All right, I guess the first thing we need to do is go through the roadmap. So get out all your pages. Hopefully you printed it out. And I do have a solo, and that's going to be inserted. So you have to mark where that goes as well. All right, so we're going to play all of page 1. I'm just doing roadmap right now. I'll put the presets in a minute. All of page 2. All of page 3. You don't get to the first ending until page 4. And then the first ending is line 2 and the first half of line 3. And there you have your first set of dots. So you want to mark those dots. Where do they go back to? Not the beginning. They go back to the beginning of line 2 on the second page. So that's where you go back to. And if you have colors, it actually makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so now we're going to do all of the first page, all of the second page, and then at the bottom of the second page you're actually going to have an insert where you see where those two rests are, like right in there. You're going to do an insert with the solo. So you can put a little like a inverted V and put second time sax solo. It's on page 3. Okay, where it's Martinique, that Montserrat Mystique, right there, the second time. So it's Port-au-Prince, I want to catch a glimpse, and that's where you put your little inverted V and put second time sax solo, and you go to, and that's going to have number 9 actually attached to it. That's going to be your preset to your saxophone solo. But we'll get to going back to those in a minute, like I said. Now, this time, when you get to page 4, top line, I put a colorful 2 because the second time you are now going to pick up the second ending. If you need to put an arrow, go ahead and do that. All right, so now you're going to finish the page. Oops, there you got some dots pointing forward. Don't go to them yet. They're pointing forward. So now you're going to play the whole last page, and then it says repeat and fade. Where are you going back to? The dots at the bottom of page 4. And what I did is I set my fade out. I set my fade out so that when after I went back to repeat there, I just hit my fade out and just kept playing. Now there is another way to end it using this Rumba Island. Okay, using this nice style that I decided to choose. Okay, so if I'm going to end, let's just go to the last page, line 3. You can end it with a C chord and a C note way down in Kokomo, and end it with a C chord and a C note, and then hit ending 2. You can just end it, but you got to be on a C chord. Hit the second ending, and you get your steel drums. And that's a nice way to end it as well. So if you wanted to bring in those steel drums again, ending 2, but make sure you end on a C chord after that G7. Okay, so lots of ways you can go on this. All right, let's talk about the numbers of the presets, and then I'll go through them, and you can ask any questions you want as to what I did, because I learned a lot about importing multipads. Multipads are your friends, but they can also make you curse the keyboard. Because if you don't use them right, or if you cover them up, or if you forget you've got them on, yeah, then they can cause some issues. So if you plan them right, you can actually get some cool stuff, and you don't just have to use one category of multipads. You can mix and match them. But you got to know how to do that, and I'm still learning. But this is a good song to practice on that. All right, so the beginning, you're going to have preset 1, and you can just put 1 in a triangle at the beginning of the song. Let's go to line 2, 3. Let's go to line 4. And where it says off the Florida Keys, right there. And I do mine right after I play that G chord. That's where you want to go to number 2. So that by the time you get to the C chord, your number 2 is because it's bringing in the background. You know what? Let's throw in an extra chord there too. Measure 3 of that line. Put a C major 7. Chicken major 7. over that E whole note. All right, let's go to the second page. Let's just go to top line, last measure. You're going to play that G chord, and you're going to put in extra notes, the ones I put in the left hand, because that's where you've got your... So kind of tricky to do, but not that bad. So where you have that G chord, you're going to omit the rest. So that whole rest that's sitting there, you're going to just totally erase that. So here's what you're going to write in. An eighth rest. Let's see if I can bring that up here. You're going to put in an eighth rest, and these are all going to be eighth notes. You're going to have F on the first space with a D underneath it. These are all thirds. Beat 2, G on the second line over E on the first line. I'll put this up in a minute. The second part of beat 2 is A on the second space over F on the first space. Now that should give you half the measure left. Beat 3, B on the third line over G on the second line. The second half of beat 3 is C on the third space over A in the second space. These are all thirds. Beat 4 is D on the fourth line over B butterfly on the third line. And the last half of the fourth beat is E, elephant, on the top space with a C. See if you can see that. Make a little more sense, even though you're going to be playing it with your left hand. Those are the notes that you're going to play. Okay. And then when you get to the top two, you can do the steel drum. And you can do that for the half of the next measure. And don't worry about playing the C chord, because you actually are playing the C chord. Because I'm on AI fingered, and every time you play one of these, it's actually playing a D minor chord, an E minor chord, an F chord, a G chord. It's actually playing the chords. So when I get to the C chord, it's actually changing my chord to a C. So you're good, because the second line has that C chord. But you're going so fast that you don't really realize you're playing chords. The sound just pops up with the left-hand sound. All right, line 2, first measure. After you play that da-da-da-da-da, you want to go to number 3, preset 3, and that just fills it in with more sounds, more stuff. And at the beginning of measure 2, over that G whole note, you want to put a C major 7 chord. At the bottom of that page, where we start to do Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I want to take you. That's where they start getting into like a whole different section. So what am I doing? I am going from Aruba, I'm playing it in this octave. Aruba. I'll play Aruba right where I am. And then where that little eighth rest is, that's going to be 4 in a triangle and 8 in a triangle. And you also want to write there 8VA, so that when you go to Jamaica, your whole hand goes up the octave. And that's where your harmony now comes in. For 4 and 8, yes. So that's the spot for 4 and 8, and it's 8 VA both times. Let's go to the third page. Line 2. Largo, Montego, ooh. And when you get to the ooh, when you get to the beginning of the second measure, you want to put 5 in a triangle. What does 5 do? It takes off the harmony, but you want to stay up here. Because now we're back to just solo singing. The bottom of the page, beginning of the last line, that's where 6 goes. And 6, you want to write loco. And no, Wayne, that doesn't mean you're going to stand on the table and dance like a madman. It doesn't mean go crazy. It means go back to the original location. So you're going to do. That's number 6, just those 2 measures. Now you should run into your inverted sax solo. You put the little insert, and that's number 9, but it's the second time only. So right after your little insert, probably at the beginning of the next measure, you're going to have 7 in a triangle and 10 in a triangle. And you're still loco. You also probably want to write in a C chord so that you know where you are. Because you're already on a C chord, but because we don't have a sound that holds the C chord, you want to play it again. We'll put out to C. So you want to put a C chord at the beginning of that measure. So you have a lot of things packed into one little area. You've got, oh, this page. All right. You've got number 9 in an inverted triangle, second time sax solo. You've got 7 and 10 in triangles, and you've got a C chord. So you've got lots of things in one spot. Okay? So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. And you're still loco. Because when you get to number 7 or number 10, you're going to be playing what's here. Loco. We'll put out to C. You're going to be playing it in your loco position. Fourth page. Top line, first measure. C major 7 is your chord. So write it in. Your first ending, line 3, measure 2. You have a G7 chord, and then you're going to copy what you did on the second page. So you want to copy that. Copy what you wrote on the top of the second page into that measure. Where are you going back to? Same place. You're going back to second page, second line. Do not change presets at this point. When you go back, you're going to be on preset 7. You already know where it's going to go to 8. Goes to the 8 at the bottom of the second page, and that's where you do your octave up. And the second time, 9 is your saxophone solo, and you can mess around with that and fudge it any way you want. I didn't play all the right notes, I just played some notes. And then you're going to go to number 10 and stay in your loco position. You notice that when I played it the second time, I did not do port au prince. Now you could have played that. You could have played that. I did not. I'm not changing to another preset right there. I'm just leaving it where it is and putting it on a fill-in I'm just putting it on a fill-in, which is D. So if I'm going to play, it doesn't do that much, but it does a little bit of a drum kick. If you want, you can play Port au Prince, but you have to do that where you are. If you play it down here, it's going to be too muddy. Then when you go to number 9, you just play it the way it's written. And then you go to number 10, and you are in loco position. All right, now the second time you're going to go to the second ending. The bottom of page 4, the last measure, where you have the 8th rest, that's where number 8 goes. Wait a minute, why number 8? Because we're on 10. We're on 10. And you also want to write 8VA. So once you go all the way down your line, you're just going to reach up, hit number 8, and that's going to be your last preset. You cannot do that with your foot. You have to reach up and touch it. You can do it with either hand, and then you go up the octave and you finish the song in that upper octave. And you can either finish it with a fade out, or you can finish it with a C chord and ending 2. They both work. The hardest part is getting your presets changed in the right spot, because there's really no waiting time. It's a lot of eighth notes, and then you change a preset and you're playing. You're in the middle of a phrase, because they overlap a lot of phrases. All right. So this is, on this one, I decided to, once I set up, you know what, I should have put turn off accompaniment. I should have switched that with style. I think I would have set up my style first. How do you set up your style? You go to your home page, you touch the orange box, and you have all your styles here. And I'm just telling you how to get to it. It's going to be in the Latin category. So I touch Latin, and now you have all these pages. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. The one I want is on page 1. It's called Rumba Island. So I touch it. Okay, so now I'm on Rumba Island. Now, for those of you that don't have, a couple of you are new today, what that does is now you have Rumba Island and you have main variation A, B, C, and D. That just gives you various orchestrations of that same one. It's kind of like having your Orc Plus, your Genie, an alter style. It's kind of like having all of that right here. So if you want to start small, you could go to A. You may not use all of them in your song. You may only use 1. You may only use 2. But each section of the song can have a different part of the Rumba Island in the song. I also wanted to have drums only. There is no such button called drums only. And a no chord is actually, you're going to hear that. If you do the no chord like you do on the Lowrys, you're going to hear a distinct sound. So what I did is I turned off the accompaniment over here. Do not touch one touch. Turn off your accompaniment, and now you have drums only. I have to kick it off. So how did I kick that off? I actually hit my sync start. I just touched a key. Just touch any key. And now I have drums only. Cool, huh? Without getting that, because that's what I did not want to hear. So I just touched one key and started my drums only. I played the entire first section with no chords. Now you can, if you like to play it with the chords, you can. You can. if you want. But I just decided to do it like the recording, and so I did not play any chords. I just followed the drums. All right. So my main variation A, I have my mix to a certain number, and then after you figure that out, now I had to come over and figure out which voices am I going to use. Well, I wanted some steel drums, and I almost put them into voice 3 and did the split. I thought about that, but it's only just for those 2 measures. So I thought, you know what? I can probably do that with the left hand, and it worked out just fine. So my sound in my left, let's go back to home page. Sound in left is steel drums. Where did I find that? Well, you touch number 1, you go to your categories over here, and you have left voice percussion. So I touched percussion, and then I went to page 1, and I tell you that right on your sheet. And then you touch your steel drums. And then you adjust the volume where it works for you. I've actually got that volume all the way up to the top so that you can hear them. But I do not have on the left hold. So when you play that chord, it's going to play and it's going to die. So I play it more than once in a 2-measure spread. So that's what I'm doing with steel drums, so that I can get this. And I thought that turned out kind of cool. All right, so then I wanted to make some sounds, and oh boy, did I struggle finding sounds. Because finding a sound that's going to sound like the singer or singers, for me, is one of the hardest things. You know, how do you find a sound that's going to sound like the Beach Boys? Well, you know, they had guitars in there. I tried guitars. I tried pianos. I tried all kinds of things. And then I started mixing things. And so that's why I have right 1 and right 3 rather than right 1 and right 2, because I had something else in right 2, and then I was mixing them around, and I tried this and this and this and this, and I kept erasing and trying new stuff, and that's what you got to do. And just try 1 and 2, try 1 and 3, try 2 and 3, try until you find something that works for you. So I found that my boys do, and my theater orchestra, which is strings, but you notice one's up here in the mix and one's down here. So you have to kind of make that match. If I just did boys do, I could have left it right there, because at the beginning you kind of want it to be small. But I decided to combine it with theater orchestra, which by itself sounds like this. You hear different orchestra voices in there, don't you? I hear a flute, I hear some horns, some bells. Okay, so if I combine that with the boys do, that sounded pretty good to me. And then when I started adding more stuff in, where am I? Yeah, number 2 I did already. When I get to number 2, I turned on my auto accompaniment so that I get more than just drums in the mix. So I had some extra stuff going. Now remember, I'm still on A, and A is going to give me the smallest grouping for the rumba, the island rumba. And so then I also added the right number 2. Well, what did I add for right number 2? Let's play it by itself. Oh. It's like a breathy sound. So it's basically just adding stuff to 1 and 3. Just makes it a little fatter without really changing the tone. But I spend a lot of time combining things. So if you don't like what I have in there, that's okay. I am absolutely okay with that. You can try other things. That's what this is all about, is getting you to find where these are so that you can start making your own combinations. I heard that. Once you have on your background and your voices, which is either end of the instrument, then you got to look at these multipads. These one-touch settings, we're not using them. Don't even worry about them. We're not using them. Multipads are your friends. That adds all the extra stuff. That's like your edit style, adding a golden harp, changing to an alter style. That's what a lot of this stuff does. So you can add 1, 2, 3, or 4 from a single group. Now what I'm trying to do is mix and match. What do I mean by that? And I found this out working Careless Whisper and somewhere in my memory that you can't get rid of, once I have one in there, if you don't change that to something else, it's going to stay, it's going to just import itself from one preset to the next, which is actually okay because it goes with the fluidity. Now, do you remember how to save a multipad? Remember how to save a multipad? You have to first of all know which ones you have on. And I've got multipad number 2, which is Rumba and Soko, which is under Legacy. And then you have to go to a percussion page. Legacy is going to get you a whole bunch of new stuff. And multipad number 1, you have 4 multipads for that vocal. Oh, I had some drums. I had some different drums. Some different drums. Yeah, because this is percussion. And you could actually have all of them on at one time. Yeah, sometimes that's a huge mess. So I just decided to use, I'm on multipad number 2. Number 2. And then you have to put that in a mix. Now how do you save that? Once you have everything going, the tendency is to want to go memory 2. Ooh, don't do that. Not yet, because your multipad's not going to save. You have to hold down the button that says Select, Sync, Start, then touch the one that you're trying to start over here, which is number 2. Touch number 2. Now number 2 is flashing. Once that is flashing, now I can do memory 2. Of course, you can play it first. You can always just play it first and see what happens. Questions so far? When we go to number 3, I'm adding more stuff. So I'm going to just go to main variation B. That's going to give me more stuff. I'm going to add a pop pad multipad. Oh, so it's going to be different. But I'm going to only put in number 1. Well, what happens to that number 2 that I already put in preset 2? It's going to import itself. It won't show right now. It shows that it's not on. It only shows that number 1, if when you're ready to record, it's going to be select number 1. So number 1 is flashing. Don't push number 2. Because if you do, it's not going to be the same one that you had in number 2, which was one of those drums. It's going to be something from the new multipad, which is now pop pad. If I touch number 2 and try to get that to flash, it's going to be one from pop pad. I don't want number 2 from pop pad. I want number 2 from G2, which was Rumba Soko number 2. So I don't touch it. Just touch the new one that you are putting in. So what does that actually sound like? Oh, it's just a vocal. So I have the Beach Boys are now oohing to the main singer. But that drummer's still going to go, but I can't touch it. The only way you can hear that is to go from 2 to 3. So yeah, checking your work takes a little bit of time. So I have to stop. I'm going to go to number 1. Oh, be quiet. You stop. I won't play the whole thing. Now I'm going to go to number 2. Number 2 is flashing, and it added the sound over here. Where's number 2? It's over here. Adds a background. And on the second page, we go to number 3. Now, number 2 stayed on. That's what I mean by importing a multipad from one preset to the other. Once it's on in that preset, it's going to stay on until you change it. So now I have 1 from the pop pad and 2 from a Roomba Soca. Interesting. I know. So where is my number 3? So you hear your oohs in there, but you still have your Roomba drummers. So that's why when you follow the instructions, don't be tempted to hold 1 and 2 down right before you record it. Only hold down, select whatever the new one is. Your old one will automatically import itself from one preset to the next when you're playing it. So you have to be real careful and take good notes. You have to write down pretty much everything you do. When I get to number 4, I'm actually skipping letter C. I'll go back to that later. But now I'm going to main variation D. Why? I must be going to, Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you. I'm going to the big part. So I want stuff going on in the background. More stuff. That's just main variation D by itself. And now I'm going to add a multipad number 4. So I'm going back to the Roomba and Soca. I'm going to just do select 4, just the new one. 1 and 2. 1 is from the pop pad, 1 is from Roomba Soca, or 2 is from Roomba Soca. They will import themselves from the previous preset. So when you go to record and save, you just do select sync start and only touch the new preset. You have to be very careful about that. And then I added some harmony as well. Now remember, your harmony is not going to be this vocal harmony in the... I made that mistake, so I can talk about it. The way you find everything pretty much from the main home screen, with the exception of harmony. With harmony, you go to direct access. This is the same way you find your fade out. Direct access. Ignore what's in the window. Now take your finger and touch the harmony that's over here. And now they all come up in the window. Oh, cool. So I can choose which harmony I want for my right hand. And then just make sure that it's on. And it'll tell you if it's off or on. And the light will also come on and tell you if it's off or on. How are we doing on time? Oop, we're doing good. All right. I totally had to change things. I went back and forth with harmony on, harmony off. When I got to number 6, now number 6 is probably the bane of my presets. If I had to say one preset that I'm unhappy with, it would be number 6. And it's only 2 measures long, so I decided not to worry about it. So number 6 is where you get to. And I did not want anything but drums, so I again turned off the accompaniment. The problem was it imported all of those multipads, so I still had oohs going on in the background and extra drums. That's okay. That's okay. If I had more time, something we all wish we had more of, then I would learn how to kill the multipads, but it's only for 2 measures, so I'm not going to worry about that now. I'll worry about that in another song. For 2 measures, it's like, to heck with it. I got rid of my accompaniment. I did put my accompaniment back on in number 7 because I still wanted all of those multipads that had been importing themselves. I wanted them to import to number 7 as well. So that would have been a pain. If I could get rid of them in number 6, how do I get them back in number 7? Oh, because I had them from 2 different categories. So that would have been something tough. And yeah, I thought about that a long time. All right, then when we get to the solo, I did the Genos thing, and I took tenor saxes from all over, and I just kept combining them. Well, that's why I ended up with right 2 and right 3 both being the same one. You only need to pick 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, but they all have different. I did not change their mixes. I left the mixes the same. But again, just choose 2, or if you like the sound of 1, go ahead and just choose the one that sounds good to you. Now this one didn't have the, it has that, but I didn't start with a note that was low. So how could have I done that? Well, if I would have had a 3rd hand, then you can go to articulation. Now if you're playing in a band and you don't have to play everything, you're just playing your solo, this would have been perfect because then you can use your articulation. Number 1, pretty cool. Number 2, oh, it comes back down. Number 3, okay, so 3 different types of articulation, but you have to touch it with your left hand. So if I'm playing chords, I really don't have that hand free. If you've got a 3rd hand, if anybody's out there with a 3rd arm and a 3rd hand, please feel free to use those because they're pretty cool. Or if you're in a band and they're playing everything else and you're just worried about this hand on the solo, then those articulations come into play and then you're good. Then you're good. Okay. What else did I want to? I did actually make number 10 the exact same one as number 7 because I did not change any multipads for number 9. I just changed voices. So because I did not change any multipads anymore, they're just going to keep importing throughout all of them because I'm not changing anymore. So just set it up like the sheet. When you decide it's time, when you've got everything and it's time to do memory, whatever, if you didn't add any more multipads, don't touch anything. If you're only adding 1 multipad, only touch Select, Sync, Start, and the new one. Do not touch the old ones or you're going to mess up the old ones. Because they will import themselves from one preset to the other. And the only way to test it is to go back and play them. Is it a lot of work? Sure. But is it a lot of fun? Oh, yeah. And that's why we do this, because it's a blast. If I could spend all my time just on the Genos 2, I would. But Robert pays me to do more things than just work on the Genos 2, so I guess I got to work on other things. I didn't have anything on Multipad 3. I don't think I used that at all. See, you don't have to use everything. Now, I could have found something else in a whole nother category and put it in Multipad 3 and had 4 multipads going at once from different categories. I just wouldn't have touched any of them while I was putting that one in. Okay, any questions so far?
I just have a clarification.
Mm-hmm.
On page 61 at the bottom were G4 and G8.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, was it over Jamaica or ooh?
It's actually over the eighth rest, the first eighth rest. It's
The first one.
Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one.
The
So
dog
you
was
want to go
bark.
8 VA for Jamaica.
Yeah.
I'll play the whole thing one more time. I think we got time. And then you can see where the changes all go to. Okay? Hopefully I won't
Okay.
make any mistakes this time. I'm going to go back to here, go to my registration, touch it. Ooh, nope, don't save. No, I don't want to save anything. Current registration bank has been, see, that's my problem. So I'm going to cancel that out. We're going to the old one. No, don't save. Okay. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up. Because I was messing with stuff. Okay, and then your foot pedal. I've got my foot pedal set up to take me from one to the next. But when I get to number 10, I'm stuck. I'm done. Foot pedal doesn't work anymore. So you have to reach up and hit number 8 when you go back to number 8. Whoops, who's coming in? Oh, Ken, Dr. Ken. He's coming in late. Okay.
Don, have you considered using the registration sequencer so that it would take you from 10 back to 8?
Nope. I haven't considered that yet because I'm still learning. I will definitely check that out though. This is just a one button thing. You know, it's not really in my way. But yeah, I'm sure there is a way because on this machine, where there's a will, there's a way. There's always something new to learn on this one. All right, I think we are good to go. Yeah. Fun stuff. Just fun stuff. Hopefully you guys are learning as I'm learning about how this wonderful instrument works. But I don't like to just say, okay, this works like this, and I like to apply it to a song. That's how I like to teach. So that anytime we learn something new, and today we actually learned that turning off your accompaniment is the same as a no chord without having to hear that three note no chord. It just plays the drums for you by turning off the accompaniment on certain presets. So that was good. We learned about importing the multipads, about blending sounds, and I think this is just a great song to play, especially in the wintertime when we've it's 20 degrees outside. Yeah. 2 weeks from today, we will do Fernando. I am in the middle of working on that. It's a work in progress. We'll see how I do. I know, Warren, you're curious about how I'm going to do certain things. Yeah, well, the best I can. The best I can is all I can tell you. All right. You guys are fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, comments, critiques, I'm all for it. Just email me at 5028@fletchermusic.com, and I am open for listening to anything you guys have to say. All right. Thank you so much, and enjoy the song and stay warm.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Bye.
Yeah, thanks so
Bye.
much. Thank you.